was a strange fellow. At least that's how the townsfolk saw him. He pretty much kept to himself because he was socially awkward. Actually, he didn't like people all that much. It was a childhood thing, like with most people. On top of that, he owned and operated the town's funeral parlor, which was an automatic entry into not being invited to anything. The people were impressed that he built the parlor himself, including his attached home. They were grateful the first Christmas season he opened his desk store because an unusually high number of small children died that year. As uncomfortable as he made everyone, they were grateful to have someone handle the arrangements for them, as they were reasonably distraught and overwhelmed with grief. The services were respectful, and he helped the parents and siblings cope with their losses as best he could. Some were more difficult than others, but he seemed to have a knack for it. After the service was over, he would wheel the tiny coffin through his back room, which led to a door where the stagecoach hearse was to take them to the cemetery. People thought it was odd there wasn't just a door off the viewing room, but did little more than mention it in passing. 3 days after the funeral, he would go to the home of the parents as a follow-up visit. He would make sure they were handling the loss as best they could, and he would bring them a special Christmas pudding that he made himself, with good tidings that the rest of the family be strong and healthy with many happy days to come. As they ate, he told them their child was with them and they would carry them around inside. Not a single soul understood just how literal he was. You see, when he wheeled the coffin through his back room, he would switch it out with one full of rocks, roughly the same weight as the child. Since it was considered sacrilegious to open a coffin at a cemetery, he stood little risk of being caught. Instead of sending the corpses to the cemetery for a proper burial, he would soak their flesh for 2 days in a warm, buttery sauce with several secret herbs and spices. On day 3, he would cook the flesh down to a liquid and add a sugar and chocolate mixture and let it set until it became a pudding, which he topped with a pinch of nutmeg and chocolate shavings. The final touch was a thin rolled cookie sticking out. This is the Christmas pudding he would serve to the family of the dear departed child. After Christmas was over, the death toll came to a screeching halt until the following December. When one doctor became suspicious, he had the children's bodies from the previous year exhumed only to find rocks and not bones. The townspeople wanted blood, and they got it. They boiled Horace alive until they could stomach his screams no more. Then they shot him in the head, putting an end to the screaming and his misery. As the years rolled on, no one was certain what haunted them more, the loss of their child, eating their flesh, or those horrible screams that came from the boiling owner of the funeral home.